let's talk some more about the aspect of influential power. It really is a good tool to have. Sometimes you can just do things, okay, it just depends, just show up. Any behavior to alter somebody else's behavior, it just depends. I've sat down there and I've sat down in chairs next to people that are 2 or 3 official levels below me, and I just talk to them. That human connection of being able to talk with them, find out how they're doing, find out, of all things, their family's names. You'd be surprised how many supervisors never have that human connection to hear about, oh, your kid's in 7th grade and they're in a play. Cool. What's the name of the play? And you find out, well, how was that performance? Those things shock employees, that a supervisor actually cares about them, and there are things that they have even after hours. Some people they don't want to have, and that's okay. Just depends what relationship you want to have and what one they want to have as well. This whole thing to alter people behavior or attitude, it really is a matter of applies to more power bases depending upon the contingencies that you come across. But the more you interact with the people that are around you, the more opportunity you're going to have to influence others, which is what this section is about. Coordinate with them, part of the leadership direction, ask them questions to help guide you from their perspective. People love that in the aspect because they can have an impact, and you should love it too, because you're going to have an ally to carry forward your vision, because everybody likes to engage in influence. Sometimes just showing up at a meeting or a presentation of some kind, your presence sometimes has an impact. Never underestimate just showing up as how people will interpret that as support. It's legitimate power, but it's a very subtle thing, because you're saying, I am here for 2 things. Number 1, to check up on you, but number 2, to sit down and be proud of you. Those 2 messages being sent by you just showing. Assertiveness sometimes, reminding, checking, bullying, making certain that you aren't bullying, but sometimes it's a matter of making certain you make your point of getting it through. And also the aspect of the legitimate and the coercive power, those are different types of influence as well. Information control, you want to sometimes control access to information to change attitudes and behavior. It just depends what you're doing and how you're doing it. Sometimes people will abuse the access to information in negative ways for your organization and for you. So you may want to sit down and restrict it, or call them in the office, say what you do and how'd you have access to this, and this is not what I want you to do with it. Be clear, and if you have to, make the correction you need to make. Coalition formation, sometimes you want to influence other people, call them up, take them to lunch, do different aspects of it to sit down there and build coalitions on different issues. You want to have an upward appeal. You don't want to fight the people that are running the organization. You want to make certain your goals are totally in sync with their goals as a group. That's an upward appeal. Persuasion, coalition formation, the exchange, make certain when you talk, it's logical. You know your topic. I don't know about you, but in my lifetime, I've gone through and I was so sold in this idea, and then I prepared it to give some logical arguments, and the more I studied it, the more I backed off on that position, and I shut my mouth and I just listened with my ears to hear what was being said about it, because I needed to study it. And all of a sudden I found out my position wasn't as strong as I thought it was. Thank goodness I didn't push my not strong position, and I studied it before, because I would have looked like a total fool if I went out with that. So make certain when you have a logical argument, it really is logical, not just to you, but to the people you're talking to. Sometimes use emotion. Emotion's a tool. Make certain that you use it. Sometimes you can use anger even as a tool. You know what? I don't like the attitude that's happening over here. I want to change right now. And then inside, you just deliberately raised your voice. You just deliberately acted angry because of the fact that that's going to have real positive thought. So pay attention to your emotions and use your emotions as a tool. I'm so disappointed in you. I really thought that of all the employees I had here, I thought you understood where we're going, and I'm really disappointed. Use the emotion as a tool. Use your type of persuasion to get your point across. Make certain you know what your channel is, who your audience is, how they're going to respond. Build coalitions. Help shape others' perceptions and attitudes of us. I've been in roles where I'm officially supposed to be really tough and harsh, and I really am not. But the reality is sometimes you use that as a tool, and sometimes you want to take the edge off of it. It depends what audience you're talking to. So pay attention to what your brand is that you're aware of what your personal brand is and what brand you're perceiving out there that people have of you and what you want them to perceive out there. So exchange resources for positive behavior, reduce resources for negative behavior if you have to, and sometimes look on the aspect of negotiation, reciprocity, and social networks. You'd be surprised how that really helps in the process of influence. So commitment, compliance, resistance, you have soft tactics and you have hard tactics. The soft one, persuasion, impression management, exchange. On the hard ones, silent authority, and you just do it because you're in charge. Upward appeal, coalition formation. Put these down in your notes in the aspect for this class, but also if you're going to rise to executive status or start your own company, these are issues you'll have to use eventually. Soft tactics produce more commitment. Hard tactics produce compliance, but they also come with the price you pay of resistance. I seldom use hard tactics unless you really have a really difficult audience, and then you have no choice but to use them. I recommend the use of soft tactics all the time to influence people to follow you rather than force them to follow you, because then that following is very shallow. So it depends on your power base, your organizational position, and where you're at. Influence can alter behavior. Silent powers are often much more effective than making a big loud power. And always go back, look on the chart for the soft tactics and also what the hard tactics are. And remember, you can always catch more flies with a teaspoon of honey than with a gallon of vinegar. So keep that, the old saying amount from Ben Franklin, you catch more flies with a teaspoon of honey than a gallon of vinegar. That applies also here on power and the aspect of the political politics within an organization, that soft tactics are easier and much more acceptable than hard tactics. Influential power, you're going to need it no matter what company you work in. Take care.